Get some frozen chips. Simple little task I thought when it tumbled off her lips. I brought back macaroni. She'd have seen her fuss. But the packet that the chips were in was the right for us. It had to jag. It had to jag. It had to jag. So I put it back. It had to jag. I had the jag, I had the jag, so I put it back. Saw this cracking shot, I thought I can afford that way of shot. I tried that on for size, it fit me like a glove. She brought me out a fresh one, wrapped up red, blue and white. When she asked me for the money, I said that will be shining bright. I had the jag. I had the jag, I had the jag, so I put it back. I had the jag, I had the jag, I had the jag, so I put it back. Well, you know, as a new pub opened at the truth, me and all the boys, we headed down. I asked them for the finest beer, you should have seen the glass. So when they asked me for the money, I said, sticker. I had the jag, I had the jag, I had the jag, so I put it back. I had the jag, I had the jag, I had the jag, so I put it back. Here I am bloody starving, I've got no clothes to wear, because that Union Jack is appearing everywhere. But I'm no giving in, I'll go without my tea, until the matter's settled, and bonny Scotland's free. I had the jag, if it's got the jag, if it's got the jag, I'm going to cut that back. If it's got the jag, if it's got the jag, if it's got the jag, gotta put that back.
Well done, Graham. Well
Awesome.
done. Right. Graham, if we've got time, we'll get you to do another number later, and we'll have a wee discussion on the controversy that that wee number has created. It's quite interesting. But Raymond, you want to open up with a disturbing story, comment, advertisement that's taking place in Facebook, and I don't know if it's on the high streets, but I'll let you speak to that.
Yeah, I came across a disturbing thing on Facebook coming from the Mirror. Now, of course, normally we wouldn't read that rag, but this kind of rang the alarm bells for me. There's this company in the UK that sells child sex dolls the size of 3-year-olds, and the sick part is it's completely legal. Now, I can start to express my disgust in this. It's another way for the pedophiles to get around things. In my book, it's just completely sickening. How can anyone be okay with this? And you see people online saying, well, this could be the greatest thing because then they wouldn't touch a child. It keeps the whole thing going. In my book, this needs to be completely I don't know, it should be investigated. they should be the business should be taken if it's online, taken offline. It should be investigated. The company, it's completely ridiculous. I don't know what your feelings about this are, guys, but I'm just lost for words for this. It's just sickening in my view.
As a question of, is this an acceptable product for Facebook to be promoting or being allowed to be promoted in the light of the bad press that they're receiving, both Facebook and Twitter, on access to suicide sites? Where does morality come into this? Where does common decency come into it? And is it a case that the promotion of such products is normalising paedophilia?
Exactly.
Making it acceptable. It's like May's lie. May lies constantly through Parliament, and if she lies long enough and loud enough, it becomes the truth.
Exactly.
That's my feeling on it.
Exactly.
And anything that puts our kids at risk should be completely removed. It comes down to morality and morals.
Yeah, but I would take it even further than Facebook. It's an article in the Mirror. They should not just ban this from Facebook. They should not even put it in a newspaper, but they should go after the company itself. A company that makes money basically out of child abuse, and that's what it is, plain and simple. They should be jailed. They should be, in my book, they should be outlawed. I don't know how you say it, but it's just sickening. If you see the pictures, how the dolls look, they put it in the newspaper. It's just sickening.
I think personally, if you actually look at what they've been doing over a while now, these sick weirdo elites, they're bringing in a culture. As you said, Raymond, it's disgusting, and Pat says about normalising paedophilia, which is absolutely correct.
Exactly.
There is no escaping from it. They've tried to do things in a very subtle, light manner to try and shape a public opinion, to empathise with it, and then curate the minds to buying these things, and evidently it's going to shape future paedophiles. Now, a few years ago, you had a thing in America where they were trying to bring this in and attach it to the LGBT community in America, and I had seen this on Twitter, and if I'm right when I had seen this, and rightly so, God bless the sensible people within that community, they were horrified, condemned it, spoke of such disgusting outrage against it, and that's what the people need to do, to tell these weirdos at the top that our children and our people will not tolerate this kind of a sick culture and mindset to be adopted in society. It has no place, and it will not stay in our society as long as us in Scotland have the sensible approach to oppose paedophilia.
Yeah.
William, we're not going to spend too much time on this, but I think the feeling is that this is unacceptable. It's simply unacceptable to be promoting anything that in itself promotes harm to children.
My brain works in a different way, obviously. I agree with everything it says. I'm just kind of thinking, who makes these things? Do you know what I mean? You know, who goes to a company and says, I want you to make me 1,000 dolls, and this is what, and who would make it? Do you know? I mean, I don't even understand how a thing like that could go off the ground, because obviously somebody's going to produce that. You know, you go for a job interview, you're a warehouseman, you're working in the warehouse. Oh, what is it we're selling? What are these dolls? Just mental, isn't it? It just doesn't add up to me. But no, there's nothing I can add to that. It's just, I mean, I think most people. The thing that gets me is how big the problem must be, or is it just getting exaggerated? I don't know. But it seems to be huge. finally it's starting to, they are starting to make it, not make it normalised, but do you know what I mean? You're actually thinking, there's so much of this about. You know, is it being exaggerated? I don't know.
Well,
Exactly.
Raymond, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. You'll correct me. This is was it an advertisement for?
No. It's not an advertisement.
A piece.
No, it's an article in the Mirror. I have put the link up in the chat of the live stream, and I also put it in the group chat, by the way. But it's
the company.
What's that?
Did they actually name the company that was selling these dogs?
Exactly.
Not that I want to order one, don't get me wrong, but I mean, is this just a spoof story? Or did they actually say, this is the company that's selling dogs?
Exactly.
Raymond?
It's an article in the Mirror, basically outing that company and telling about the sick ideas of that company. It's
that's good. I hope they put the directors or whoever's running the company, put their names up there.
Exactly. Name and shame them. Name and shame them. Get it out of.
I think there is consensus that it's totally immoral and it's totally unacceptable to be promoting anything that would possibly put our kids at harm and at risk.
Amen.
We all agreed on that.
Amen to that.
So we'll wait and see if the authorities actually take any action, and we'll take it from there.
Exactly.
But I'm certain we could get a few people down to show their displeasure wherever they are. Anyway, folks, we're on the People's International Chat show.
Yeah.
And they say a week is a long time in politics. Well, it's only 10 hours since we realised that we've been campaigning for the last 6 years directly in the public. Myself, I've been campaigning for the last 30 plus years for a free and independent Scotland. And now I have been told from Westminster that there is no mandate for Scottish independence in Scotland from the Prime Minister, of all people, who should know that when the victorious party in any election stands on a manifesto for holding a second referendum on any material, should any material change take place, that in itself, by winning that election, with the support of the whole of the Yes movement, that's a mandate in my book. And is it acceptable for our politicians to put out sound bites to misinform the public?
Exactly.
Callum?
I don't think anything changes when it comes to the London Parliament and what they do. To be perfectly honest with you, Pat, I mean, we've heard this for quite some time about the independence issue. I mean, personally, I voted leave on the Brexit issue. The majority of Scotland voted to remain. In Scotland, again, has been totally ignored by the London Parliament. So it doesn't matter if it's on farming issues, it doesn't matter if it's on European-related issues or even independence-related issues. What we've got here is a dictatorship. Shut up, do as you're told.
Exactly.
And the tune remains the same.
Indeed.
Well, you and I are both the same, Callum. You and I both voted to leave for entirely different reasons, for the xenophobic, bigoted outlook of the British press, who, in the same hand as UKIP, became a political force without any political representation. They were promoted constantly by the British mainstream media, and especially the BBC, who have shown the same again with this the Tigers, the independence groupers, or the independent groupers that left the Tories and left Labour, as soon as they left, they were afforded an immense amount of time on mainstream media. I believe, because I no longer watch the BBC, the biased broadcasting corporation, the state machine, and I no longer pay a TV licence to that corporation to have propaganda pumped into my house. But this is a recurring incidence whereby lies are repeated and repeated and repeated, and then the public actually believe them as true, as we're talking about fake news and so forth. Yeah. This is normalising lies, and these people are at the top of the chain, the highest echelons, and we're supposed to look up to them.
Yeah,
and it demeans politics completely, in my view.
Pat, see the bigger issue here, to be perfectly honest. The SNP were voted in based on the promise of a mandate. So, what the London Parliament, or establishment, whatever you want to call them, need to actually look at is that the people of Scotland, since the independence vote itself, has given their consent to the SNP to say, okay, we'll vote you in, we want another crack at it. That is something that they need to acknowledge. If somebody was in a marriage or a civil partnership and they were being held against their will, there would be an outcry. If that was another country or another region of the world, there would be an outcry. But because it's Scotland, it's put up and shut up. The only people that are going to change this is the people in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about who's saying this. Theresa May. She's the person that had a plan is saying there is no mandate. Now, who are you going to believe? She had plan A, she had plan B through Z. Always the same plan, and that person is saying there is no mandate. Come on.
Mm-hmm. It's just as if they're constantly using the reverse psychology.
Exactly.
They're telling us one thing, and then they're going out and doing another. If that's no reason for Nicola Sturgeon to just fire the starting gun, what the hell is the contempt that we are shown on a daily basis in Westminster? I mean, after making that statement that there is no mandate for a second independence, Theresa May scuttled down to Parliament because she knew Ian Blackford was going to raise a point of order on the statement. And then Westminster turns around and says, well, we get your point, Mr. Blackford, and you've made it precisely, and you've been heard and forcefully said at that. But procedure hasn't actually been broken. When is a lie not a lie? When it's said in Parliament. Graham.
Yeah, coming back to the original question, it's a big problem in our politics at the moment. We saw this at the Brexit vote as well, you know, where politicians are blatantly lying. But yeah, I mean, if she's lying in Parliament, then she should surely be made to come back and apologise. But that doesn't seem to be happening. You know, when he raises that point of order, and if the chair accepts that point of order, surely the next thing is that she has to come back and correct the mistake that she's made. And that doesn't seem to happen in British politics. And I don't understand enough to know why.
Right, I'm going to ask you anybody, if they're on Facebook, just for a second interruption there, we're live streaming through in the Independence Live, simulcasting. Does anybody have any issue with the sound? Can anybody out there watching in? We've got just a couple of shout outs for Shona Ewens. We've got Mark Anderson from Arbroath. Mark says he can't hear anything. That was earlier on when we started. I've got Helen Lennon. Helen, can you tell me, and Fiona McKinnon, can you tell me if you can hear the sound on Independence Live as you're watching? I'll just follow this. Ian Leckenby's watching.
Yeah,
Ian, you'll be. Audio is good on Indie Live, Ian tells me.
Yeah, and on Facebook the sound is good as well. Being told so by Mikey Hill and Danny Grant.
Ian's drunk.
He warned us.
Ian's socialising with our European neighbour,
exactly.
Just like we're going to do next week. Anyway, audio's good, so we're fine there.
Yeah.
Right. What happens, guys? What happens if Theresa May refuses to grant a Section 30? And why? Why should the Scottish people, represented by the SNP in Westminster, actually the sovereign people be asking for permission to hold a referendum? Graham.
Right, well, coming to me first, at least polite democracy. Right, this is the night.
We'll get an outside view, Graham. We'll get an outside view from somebody that's no interconnected and a geek like us on politics.
Right, give me that question quickly, briefly.
So, if Theresa May refuses a Section 30, what should take place, and why are the sovereign people having to ask permission?
Right, this is an outside view, obviously. I think Theresa May refusing that, from her point of view, is a good tactic, because if she refuses it and we go ahead with the vote, then the unionists can say we're not going to take part in this election, and then that you've got was it a legitimate election, was it not? And I think what we would have to do if she did that would be take her to court, an international course, etc., which would delay things years. I think that's the plan there. From the outside, that's what it looks like to me. That it's a delaying tactic to, because if we just charge in there and the other side don't take part in the election, then you've got a major problem there. Again, you guys probably know more than me and disagree, but I won't go on at length. I'd like to hear your views.
Okay, Callum, give me your views, mate. Give Graham your views.
I think Graham actually made a very good point there. If you actually look at the other side of the coin, that would be their go-to thing to try and discredit the legitimacy of any referendum that we have without their consent. But if they were to oppose it, there is that many legal issues that would have to be raised. Basically, that would then show that the Holyrood vote that we had to vote the SNP on the mandate wasn't exactly a legitimate vote in the Scottish elections. Then would it not raise the legitimacy of the Scottish Declaration of Arbroath if we decided to do a UDI? And I think as well, in terms of the Act of Union Bill, the original bill itself, I think that would also really discredit that. I think politically it's a can of worms at best.
Mm-hmm. And Raymond, have you got a view on...
Well, again, I feel the same way as Graham does. I do feel the same way. But I was also thinking, would it not be more harmful if she actually said there was a mandate, and then again the SNP would have done anything? I mean, would that not be more harmful to the independence movement if she actually said that there was a mandate? Now she's basically showing that she's lying again, something that we already know.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to throw something in here, because we've just had the EU referendum, which was a non-binding referendum. It was an advisory referendum. But the politicians turned that non-binding referendum, non-binding advisory referendum into a politically binding referendum, which they then jumped on the bandwagon, saying that they must deliver the people's view. Right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but we apparently voted to remain in the UK by 55 to 45% on the basis that the only way to guarantee our future in Europe was by remaining in the UK. Now we've got Europe falling hand over fist to invite a pathway for Scotland to join it. I think they're actually going to wait until Brexit happens and find an easier way for access of Scotland into Europe should they become independent. But the point being that this whole Brexit scenario it's going to open a can of worms. It has opened a can of worms. Only today we have Wales and Scotland voting that they will not accept a no deal in any shape or form. And again we had, and this will bring us into one of our subjects as well, we had a debate in Europe about the future of Ireland, a united Ireland. And you've got to remember that the Troubles went on over 30 years. It's been 20 years of devolved parliament in Ireland, the same as ourselves. But that was gained at the highest cost. And those who would impose British rule have diminished to the point that the youngsters are coming through who haven't seen the Troubles, and they're thinking, what the hell are we doing? We've got 2/3 of the country, more than 2/3 of the country, the land country of Ireland are members of the EU, who have the benefit of travelling, working and settling in Europe without restriction. And this government here in Westminster is going to impose that we're not going to be able to do that. So we are on the precipice of a majority on the island of Ireland and in the 6 counties who wish to remain in Europe. Is that going to open up the Troubles all over again? Callum?
Well, I don't really know. I think if you go back, X amount of years in Scotland, the mindset with things was completely different politically, on social standings, with how we see our neighbours, how you identify certain groups. And I think when you listen to a lot of people in Northern Ireland, there is still, if you want to call them bandpots or whatever, but there's been a complete different mindset for how it is today to back then. It's the same with certain parts of Europe. Certain parts of Europe has come on leaps and bounds in how they see affairs socially, how they want to work together, how they want to connect with one another, and not let ideologies waste their country's prosperity. I think a united Ireland is one of those things, if it's going to happen, it will probably happen in our lifetime. And I think if it does, it'll be one of those ones that will be like, what was all the drama about? Everybody's expecting something to happen that most likely will be a smooth transition, because the people in Ireland will want to make an example and show the world that all the stigma that comes with Ireland is practically dead. And I think that as well in Scotland, with how we want to be, we don't want to be tied to a union, we don't want, Union Jacks wave, and we don't want to be part of a legal war. So people in Scotland are adamant to show the rest of the world those dark cages where we were tied and pulled in with this nonsense is dead and over.
Raymond?
Well, I know I brought up the debate in Europe about Ireland. I haven't looked at it yet, but I just saw it come by. But what I do think is that if either Ireland or Scotland goes independent, it's completely over. The UK will disintegrate, and basically what Westminster does is basically helping that along. In my book, they just keep lying and keep, with austerity and everything. They keep on lying to people, and I don't know how to say it. I lost what I was going to say, but they working on their own demise. They digging their own graves in my book. And
well, I've just written down there, Raymond. If this actually the breakup of the UK empire, finally, the complete breakup, because I have no doubt that very soon, and I want it sooner than some would be debating right at this point. I want it now.
Yeah.
Scotland will be independent.
Definitely.
And Scotland will then, unless Ireland does it first and unites, Scotland will then lead Northern Ireland to unite with Ireland.
Definitely.
Because it is in no one's interest right at this minute, to fall into a no-deal Brexit and re-entry in Ireland. And I know we've been talking about a border down the North Sea or the Irish Sea. That's not going to happen. The border will be, and there'll be no discussion because there is no replacement for it. We are being dragged out of Europe against our will. So that tells you that we are no longer part of the club. No matter whether you like the club or not, we are no longer part of it. And they will demand that a border is established. There has to be a border somewhere. And if there's not a border on the island of Ireland, I think there will be a border down the North Sea. And Ireland will then unite. Because there will be no point of the rest of Northern Ireland, or the 6 counties, being separated from the rest of the island. I think it's just a natural progression, and the populace have been politicised to the fact that they are no longer politicised on the basis of sectarianism and hatred, that they're politicised by knowledge and the absolute need to secure the future. That's my view.
Yeah.
Graham, give us an outsider's chat on this.
Yeah, well, just basically what you're saying there, we're not going to be in the EU, whether it's a hard Brexit, soft Brexit, deal, no deal. There's going to have to be a border between the UK and the EU, and if it's not going to be in Ireland, then Ireland are going to be united in some way, whether it's, they're going to have to be living in the EU, basically, Northern Ireland. You won't be able to put a border there. Or if you can. Either put a hard border in Ireland, basically, all runs within the EU. So that's a united Ireland, I would think. They might not call it a united Ireland, but it will be in effect a united Ireland.
Mm-hmm. That's my view. Raymond, you've given me your view. Mm-hmm. Callum, you've had the wee input to this.
Aye.
Right. Here's a wee side issue to it. This week we've had 3 bomb scares in London and one today in Glasgow, at the Glasgow University. Is this terrorism raising its head? Or is this the British state preparing for troops on the street should any issue become apparent from Brexiting and enforced Brexit? This is just a wee aside, because this has actually happened. Is it a direct threat to the communities in the nation, or the nations? Because there are there are 2 nations and there are 2 annexes within the UK. I think it's the British state, as in we opened the show with the ability to lie and it be accepted and go unpunished. I don't know if you remember, during the lead up to the referendum, we had attacks, staged attacks, and is this another of those? Is the British state preparing the people to have martial law imposed on them because they are afraid of the reaction of the people when they finally realise that Brexit is flipping a dead horse? Raymond?
You're asking basically if the bomb scares were a direct attack on Scotland itself, or?
Well, there was one sent to Glasgow University today. They're still to confirm that it was a live
explosive,
a live device.
Mm-hmm.
It was Caledonia, Pat. Caledonia is a separate university from Glasgow University.
No, it was Glasgow University because it's Jordan Hill, isn't it?
No, mate, the article that I had seen on Facebook, it says it was Glasgow Caledonia.
Glasgow, but that's in the town centre, Callum. This was the Woodlands area that the police were occupying.
Well, there must be another one, because the one that I had seen at 5 o'clock today, it said it was Glasgow Caledonia. And I've actually got a friend that goes there. I've tried to find out information about it, but as of yet I've not heard anything from him. But the article definitely said Caledonia.
No problem. We've heard of misrepresentation in the press.
Yeah, definitely.
But the point being that these devices harm no one, but it sets the environment for the introduction, if they so wish,
troops, yeah,
of martial law.
Well, I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them at all. I mean, we've seen what they've done in the past, and not just in the recent past, but like for instance, during the 2014 referendum, they moved Scottish troops down south and brought English troops up north in case something happened, in case of a yes vote, and what would be happen after that. So I wouldn't put this past them at all.
Graham,
the packages come from the north of Ireland or the south of Ireland?
no, the packages, we don't know where they came from. We haven't been advised, unless, Callum, you have anything on that?
No, I just had seen that basically there was a package that had arrived at the university and the police were conducting their investigation.
I think we should just be so grateful that all the terrorists that attack this country are so incompetent, you know, that they can't poison the people that they want to poison, and they can't, you know, send us bombs that would actually explode. So I think we're very lucky that, you know, we're being attacked by incompetent terrorists.
Well, if we're talking about incompetent terrorists, some group comes to mind. Westminster.
That's a joke, really, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's.
But it seems to be a theme through politics and through what's the word I'm looking for? Dissenters. The politicians are absolutely incompetent.
Yeah.
We have the worst Prime Minister who is beating the same drum and expecting a different answer every time she gets near to Brussels. And we've got, and I'm not being flippant here, we've got terrorists who are sending bombs that are unable to reach their target, one, and cause the mayhem that they expect it to do. So,
can I jump in, Pat?
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't separate the terrorist issue from the government issue. On my opinion, I think the biggest terrorist gone is the governments of the world. These are the people that train, fund, and arm these groups. I mean, you heard it through the American debate with Trump and Hillary. These people were fighting are the people that we armed, trained to fight the Soviets out of Afghanistan. These are the people that they trained and funded in Egypt, in Libya, in Sudan, in Yemen. And now they have this big issue that the people that they thought were going to do their dirty work for them are now fighting against them and in turn killing the civilians. So there's no getting away from it. The two of them are tied in together. And I can absolutely concur with what Graham says. In Scotland, you know, we're a wee bit more sensible than that. You know, we've had our own problems for as long as the string stretches, and we've just not buckled to it, we've not given into it, and quite frankly, we don't pay attention to it. And it's an absolute godsend that the people in this country can just go about their normal day lives and just go, they'll no break us.
Right. We'll draw a line under the incompetence of either politicians or terrorists or politicised terrorists, because the biggest terrorists in the world are those who impose their democratic will on others. Graham, you've come under a barrage of criticism for the song you opened up the show with. Yeah, you want to give us a wee bit of background on it, mate?
No, I mean, it's just a couple of people, really. But it's just basically people are saying that you shouldn't boycott products with a Union Jack on it because it will cause local jobs to be lost. The people who are actually growing the product and sending it out away and it's being packaged with Union Jacks, they'll lose their income because we're not buying the products. That's the argument.
Yeah, I saw your rebuttal of that, and I thought you were spot on. Your rebuttal was that if the producers are either intimidated into wrapping everything up in a Union Jack, and by the way, we have a campaign going on right at this minute. If it's in a jack, send it back. And that's the words of your song.
Yeah, that was
it. What the people are doing, and they're being respectful about it, is we see as that Hovis have got the bread, and it could be any other bread supplier, folks. I just want to be equal in promotion here. We could have Hovis, you've got Hovis, you've got Sunbliss, you've got all the others, but they're wrapping them up. They're wrapping their food up in a Union Jack, and that in itself is a mechanism to desensitise people from the magnificent product that Scotland produces. And it's world renowned. But your rebuttal was, if we send it back, they'll get the message and we'll start selling the proper Scottish produce that we wish to support.
Exactly.
Well, what I was basically saying is that I used to be a buyer, and basically what I was saying is if you sell, let's say, 10 tonnes of carrots, and 5 tonnes of those carrots have got Union Jacks on them and 5 tonnes haven't, and your shop clears out of 5 tonnes that don't have, and you're left with all your stock with the Union Jacks on it, you'll have to discount that to sell it. And then when the rep comes back in for another order, you're going to say to that rep, I can't sell your product. But when the other rep comes in, you're going to say, oh, I need 10 tonnes from you, not 5 tonnes. He's then going to go and source another 5 tonnes of product. And we've got 70% of the farms. He's going to have to go to Scottish farmers, and probably the farmers who were supplying the Jack guy. That was my point. We're not going to stop selling carrots. Was it carrots?
What we're going to do, in my view, and I'll bring the guys in this, is we're going to increase the production of Scotland the brand.
Yes.
Because we had it back in the 80s, was it? Buy British.
Yeah.
Buy British. To the point that we were all supportive of that campaign, because we were looking out for British jobs and British manufacturing. Little did we know that Maggie Thatcher's plan was to close down manufacturing. So that exercise was pointless. But this exercise is imperative. It's imperative that we carry it out, because we have to show our producers, whatever it may be, whatever they produce, that we want to buy it and we want to support them. And your song is the epitome of that ideal, in my view. Callum.
Yes.
Union Jacks. Why are we getting brainwashed and every method being used to show us to be British?
Well, before I answer that, Graham, great song, mate. I loved it.
Thanks, Callum.
I think what we have here is and I want to also say the Scottish farmers, I salute them. They do an absolute grand job to make sure that we get what we need. They do a very hard job, and I think they actually deserve a wee bit more pay than what they get. Mm-hmm. It doesn't help that a lot of farmers got offered certain, I don't know what really want to say, coins to put their egg on their produce, but I definitely think that there's a wee bit more gain for them, and the only way we're going to beat that is to stop buying their egg on Scottish produce. You've got to be a wee bit more ethical with your shopping, as hard as it may be, but I think it's ultimately important to continue to pour the money into the Scottish farmers that have the saltire on them, because if we continue to buy potatoes, carrots, leeks, whatever, with their egg on it, then there doesn't become a need to have the saltire on them. There doesn't have a need to be Scottish farms. And eventually what you see in certain countries, and America is probably the prime example for it, where they've sold off X amount of farms to Russia, to China and to Japan, partially because of the debt, but because a lot of people weren't buying the American crap, quite frankly. And we don't want that here happening in Scotland, because we've got fantastic produce, we've got the best soft fruits in the world, we really do. And if we're going to support anything, support your own. And I don't mean that in any bad way to the English farmers, but it's time that we ultimately start putting our money back into people's pockets.
I'm going to come in with a wee to do there, because we know that the purchasing, and Graham, you'll be able to tell me this, the purchasing power of the multinational retailer, they can dictate to the farmer to the point that they're producing at near cost and below.
Yeah.
Am I right there, Graham?
Yeah, I do live in a rural area, and yeah, that's basically basically it. They buy so much that, they're dictating the price to the farmer and they're driving the price down all the time.
But the retailer also dictates the advertising of and the packaging of and so forth. So if the retailers are having meetings with the government and the government are telling them we need to promote Britain the brand, they are going to do it, and they're going to put pressure on the producers to ensure that takes place. Am I right?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if the consumer doesn't buy the product, then the manufacturer can't put that branding on the product. He won't, because he'll be out of business. At the end of the day, if they can, it's like a union. You know what I mean? If you go on strike, you'll get your way eventually if you stick together. And if the people stick together, if the people stick together and continually clear the shelves of product that's got the salt tire on it, then the other manufacturers will have to start putting the salt tire on their product, no matter what the government tells them.
Right, I agree.
If they don't.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. But what I'm saying is, this has been introduced in the most subtle of ways.
Yes, yeah.
They even change the colour of the salt tire, the jack.
Yeah.
They change the colour, as in Hovis. Hovis have a green jack, but it's blatantly a jack.
Yeah,
that's only on thick cut bread though.
Sorry?
That's only on thick cut bread. The only reason why I know that, I actually used to work with Hovis in Duke Street.
Yes. But it's green is the symbol for thick cut bread for Hovis. But yellow or orange is the colour for Aldi. But Aldi's doesn't have a Union Jack on it.
Yeah.
No, I get that, but see, ultimately though with this dilemma, I completely agree with Graham. We're not the people in control of many things in this life and in our society, but one thing that we can absolutely control is what we buy and who we buy it from, regardless of price differences and all the rest of it. If we're going to take action, it has to be right across the board on everything.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to just say hello to a few folk here. We've got quite a few folk. Kevin Gibney, thanks very much, Kevin, for simulcasting through Independence Live. We're going to have a wee promotion of Indie Live Radio, folks. IndieLive.radio. Get on it. Become the media. Don't hate the media. Become it. We've got Anna McGugan. We've got Alexander Thompson. Norrie Hunter. Indie Radio Live. Indie Live Radio. He's on most mornings. Morag Walker. There was a device at Glasgow University involved Byers Road, but don't know about the Glasgow Caledonian. It's a different area altogether. John Robertson is watching. Bernadette Kilpatrick. Maureen Maguire. John, good evening, Partly and panel. Promoting an important subject, but we must promote Scotland the brand. I take it, Raymond, you haven't contributed here, so you would agree wholeheartedly with everything we've said here.
Definitely. I mean, in my view, putting the Union Jack on everything is just another insult. I mean, once it's in the store, everything goes to the British Treasury, basically, also the tax and everything, and Scotland doesn't get a small amount back, but
Revenue.
Yeah, revenue. That's it. Thank you. And it's just ridiculous because and it's just not with produce. It's with everything. It's like we talked about it a couple of weeks ago about the oil. It gets loaded directly from the platform onto ships and it's going down south straight away. And then it's British oil. The whiskey, it gets brought down south. And it's automatically then a British export. It's ridiculous. and that needs to stop. So yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with the discussion on the produce that leave it, and I agree with Graham. As soon as you show them that you don't want produce with the Union Jack on it, they will eventually have to put the Saltire back on.
A bit of advice from the campaign, Scotland the brand, was we all have to purchase it. It may be a case that that's the only product that's available in a small town village. So they have to buy the Hopus bag with the Union Jack on it. Simply be respectful and let that company know that you're not happy with that. Take the bread out of the bag, put it in some cling foil to keep it fresh, wash the bag out, and send it back to Hopus. If it's got a Jag,
Brilliant.
send it back.
Brilliant idea.
They will get the message, because then they're receiving their own packaging back with a note saying, and it's a respectful note, we're Scottish, you're using our Scottish produce, you're selling it in Scotland, please respect the Scots.
Definitely.
Simple.
Great idea.
Or as Mrs. May would say, simples. And did you get the background to that actual statement by Mrs. May? Did anybody pick up in the media
No.
why she came to say simples?
No.
Carl?
No, mate, never.
Graham?
No, Dad, no. I've never even heard her say it, so...
Oh, she said it in Parliament. She was speaking directly to one of the SNP, I think it was Ian Blackford. Simples. That was the end word of her statement.
Right.
And it was a bet. This is the disingenuous way that Westminster looks upon Scots. It was a bet with her speechwriter that she couldn't get the word simples in.
I think you could use that to describe her political career. Simple.
Yes,
Yeah.
simple. Yeah. But she took the last to lunch, or the last took her to lunch after she managed to get that word in. That's the disdain that we are held in. The disrespect that we are held in. And we are receiving this because through our representatives is the view of the wider UK and what they hold, the contempt they hold us in. So, another reason for independence.
Can I just come in there though? I've got a...
Yes, you can.
My brain works kind of different. I'm seeing all these speech writers sitting around in the office writing speeches and all having a wee laugh with each other and saying, no, Theresa May, man, she looks like a meerkat, doesn't she? I think we could do you know what I mean? I think we could get her to say that. Do you know what? So